Anyway, talking of the bright happiness of reality, let's dive back into what we were talking about last week.
The bright happiness.
The end of the world.
The end of the world. I love it.
Good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
A bit sleepy, but I'll be all right.
Yeah, no, that's just a general state of being now.
Yeah, this is just me.
So, hi, it's Wednesday morning.
It is Wednesday. Well, yeah. What is it?
Well, I'm Andrew.
No, I know. Yeah. Okay.
Wow, we have our intro is ironed out like pros.
As always.
It's time for some Neon Sunrise.
It is. Well, I mean, maybe they got it because of the chill music, but
or
maybe they didn't because.
Hopefully, yeah. Oh, we've got some. We have some more music planned a bit later. It's less chill, but it's really cool.
Oh my
so
God.
You'll just have to roll with that.
Andrew wanted to put some K-pop, so we have some K-pop. Yeah.
This is the benefit I get in being in charge of the music. So yeah, we've got some music lined up for today. What else we got?
First, we're going to talk a bit about Stan Lee and the death of Stan Lee, the main writer for Marvel. And then during the second half, we're going to talk a bit about the subject we started last week, but that we didn't record. So that was only live. So we're going to talk about the end of the world and the apocalypse and how to survive the apocalypse.
Yeah, we discussed some of that last week. But as anyone watching or waiting for the podcast might notice, Session 4 doesn't exist anymore.
No. It was.
I think we will still name this one Session 5. Session 4 will just be the White Rabbit.
In memory of the Session 5. 4.
Yeah. So we'll pick that up after the break. But to begin with, we're going to dive into a slightly more somber note and talk about the day of the departed.
The day of the departed. Yeah. That was yesterday was it was on Monday.
It
was on Monday. Stan Lee, main writer of Marvel, died at 95.
I mean, first off, props to the age. Decent age.
Yeah.
Like lifespans now are getting up there, but for his when he was born, that's quite an impressive stint of breathing.
He was born in 1922.
Damn.
Yeah.
I
mean, I don't know what he did during the World War II, but
I mean, he was there.
He was there.
He was alive.
Yeah. He was 18 or 19 when it started.
So do you know how Marvel began?
No. So Marvel, I'm not sure about how it began, but Marvel had two main writers at the beginning. You had Stan Lee and another guy, which I forgot the name.
Neon Sunrise, the most informative podcast you'll ever listen to.
I mean, the definition of the podcast is, well, have good informations. And I'm giving you half good information. I'm giving half of the writers. I'm not giving you all the writers. There were two. I know half of it, which are Stan Lee. And that's it.
Yeah.
No. So Stan Lee and that other guy, which I completely forgot the name of. And the first issue that came out was the Fantastic Four.
Right.
And with that, the continuity of Marvel became bigger and bigger with characters like Spider-Man and the X-Men, and all of them, X-Men, Spider-Man, are written by Stan Lee. And no, so that's how it started. It was. I'm not sure about the date. We can check that if you want. It's great journalism here, guys. Just asked it. I was looking at Andrew to see if he what the date of the beginning of Marvel. I know what he shrugged his shoulder because we are here for the truth, guys.
I think it's mostly because
it's mostly because it's just fine.
Well, no, we don't know that much about the history.
No,
but
it's in the 60s. I guess.
Okay, we don't know anything about the history of it, but what we do know, and I think what a lot of people who don't know comics, especially because I don't know comics.
I mean, you don't know comics. I mean, I don't know the history of comics.
But you don't have to be a comic book reader to have felt the impact of Stan Lee. I think that's more the point of what. Well, I
mean,
but at least what I can talk about because that's all I've got.
Yeah. Because I mean, I am a comic book reader. It was a tough thing, Stan Lee, and I think you posted about it. Stan Lee was that idea of entertaining and as a creator being able to weave stories and weave characters because the big difference between Marvel and DC, I think, is how they write characters. And you have some issues of Superman with in DC with depth, with the depth of the character, how Superman is this normal guy and just with superpowers also. I mean, he's just a guy from the Bronx, right? But it's
apart from the fact that he's an alien,
right? Apart from the fact that he's an alien, but that the point of Superman is the person. It's trying to do good with the power that he has, right? But it's for me, there was never a connection with the characters from DC, right?
No, it's true.
So Batman is one of the only human in,
and even him with a lot of DC characters is very different. It's very difficult to feel.
To relate.
It's difficult to empathize with them because with Superman, it's like, oh, he's an accountant, or no, he's a journalist.
Yeah.
And then he goes into a phone booth and has laser eyes and stuff. But his powers are so over the top, and his personality when he's Clark Kent is fairly bland.
Yeah.
And everything aside from what is explained by that is he's an alien.
Right.
All of which makes it very difficult to kind of have any connection
with. But most of the characters are the same thing,
Yeah, Batman as well. Like
Batman
most of us
aren't
very
hard to,
super
to
rich
to.
orphans who own companies.
Yeah. Maybe the only one is Shazam, but Captain Marvel, which is just a kid. But again, like, not a character. I mean, just one of the characters, but not one of the main characters.
Yeah.
And
I think there's a theme of that through DC, and I think
there's definitely.
No, again, I'm not a comic book reader, and discussing this more in depth will only show my ignorance on the subject. It often does feel like with DC, DC were first with a lot of these characters, but as you begin to see them putting the characters together, unifying them into this into the DC universe, because the power level of a lot of these characters, like Superman's meant to be this. He's immortal aside from Krypton, but then you have Batman, who's meant to just be a rich guy with cool tech. And you have all these villains who are meant to try and be a threat. So then to have them be an actual threat to characters like Superman and Batman, all these things, just the scale of everyone's abilities and strength and technology, it gets a bit ridiculous.
But everything, I think, it's super.
Obviously, it's fiction, but
that's a point. DC power level has always been, higher. Well, depending on the issue, and depending on where the story is going. But DC characters on a, normally it's high. The power level is higher than in Marvel. But in Marvel, the characters, I feel, it's a personal opinion, that I can relate to them. They are all very human people. Mm-hmm. They all have human reaction to whatever happens in their life. Personally, one of my favorite character, and one of my favorite character of all time is Spider-Man. Spider-Man. It is a very popular character. But I think a lot of people. And I posted about it, and someone answered me, and she was like, "Oh, it's also my favorite because he's so funny." I was like, "Yeah, that's not the reason why it's my favorite. The reason why it's my favorite is because Peter Parker is that kid who doesn't have money, who has an aunt who lives in a crappy apartment in New York City, and one day it's just be like, boom, you have powers. What you gonna do with it?" And he's not gonna go big, trying to I'm gonna become that savior of the planet. No, it's just gonna be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man trying to save one person, trying to do good. Because trying
to just save one person at a time, and also find his 40 backpacks he left around the city.
Every time he changes, he leaves the backpack there. It's just so many backpacks.
Yeah.
But X-Men, the same thing. So many of the characters.
Yeah, it's people with powers, and they're still
born
human.
With power. The point, like mutants, and one of the main point of interest in the mutant storyline is that the people born with powers, and you have racism against them in the Marvel universe about people with powers. It's the main storyline.
When Alex just starts pressing buttons.
Help me.
1 second.
My bad. All I wanted to do was to move the screen. It's fine. It's fine.
There we go.
It's fine.
Anyway.
What was I saying? Yeah, X-Men in Marvel, the main storyline is that racism and how the normal person, as in the different characters from X-Men, are going to react to society pushing them away, their powers and all that. And
I think like that whole not just those characters, but also the storyline in general is very. It feels a lot more real just because we're humans, and humans generally are fearful of what we don't understand. And it's very, very believable that if you had a section of humanity which began having these powers, they would not be accepted and welcomed by everyone. People would be afraid of them. People would want to manipulate them. So it feels like a lot of that prejudice and a lot of the strife within that whole universe, that storyline of X-Men and the mutants, it feels very real.
It definitely does,
and you can understand both sides of the mutants. Now I tend to side with villains, and Magneto's got a point.
As always.
But if you have these powers and everyone else's reaction to that is to fear you and try and like push you down, I guess, to, like in brackets, to their level, then you shouldn't let that happen. And obviously, like Professor X's whole idealistic methodology of we'll just show them that we're good and virtuous and stuff.
Well, that works.
I mean, it doesn't really.
Yeah, well, anyway. We'll not go through the philosophy of the action of the X-Men members.
Yeah, but the whole storyline and the characters, you can empathize with them, the villains and the heroes, and I think that's the kind of story that at least sticks with me quite well. Cause
for sure. Stanley was... The way he thought about characters when you watch, documentaries and stuff. First, you had, for example, Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man was the basic idea of, in the 60s, he was still in the process of making cool characters, less for the story. But Spider-Man started as what character would be cool for someone who would walk on walls, right?
Yeah.
So, because he saw a fly on the wall. And he was like, Flyman, no. Insect Man, no. Bugman, no. And he was going down a list. And he stopped at Spider-Man. And Spider-Man, had this a bit of a nice tone to it. And he kept Spider-Man, but he wanted to make it, for once, a teenager. Because most of the teenagers in Marvel, DC, and superheroes are sidekicks. They're not... Kid the Flash, Aqua Kid. I don't think it's Aqua Kid. Anyway, Aqua Kid. No, it's something like that. I don't remember. It's the sidekick of Aquaman. It's true.
Aqua Boy.
I don't remember. Most of them are teenagers, and Spider-Man was the first one thought as, okay, Peter Parker is going to be a teenager. He's going to be very relatable to anyone. Because he's going to be...
Which, like, straight off the bat gives it more, I suppose, appeal to...
For sure.
Your younger audience who, like, I want to be the hero. And they're like, I want to be the 30-something-year-old Batman with my own apprentice. And like, well, no, you're a kid.
I mean, you take DC, and in every story of DC, the background and, the origin story is, for me, very... it's always very, it's... Normally, I think, for me, a good origin story for the superheroes is a normal person or a normal life and then you add one bit, a new bit, and you get some characters in DC that have so many complexity. I mean, not complexity, but so many add in,
Their
in the
entire
story
life is super dictated by that story.
Yeah, and it's fine because it's superheroes and you're reading the book and the superhero has cool powers and stuff. And a cool backstory, but you don't relate to it, and so
they're never rooted in real life.
And so afterwards, it's about what do you want to show through your work. DC writers maybe wanted to go for just good superheroes that you would found cool and those kind of things. But I think Stanley was very different in why he was recognized as one of the biggest writers of our time. I mean, entertainer of our time is because he decided that superheroes were also good, normal people, and they should be relatable in the story that you write.
Yeah. I think that is one of the major routes through which Marvel characters tend to be more relatable, and while being relatable, that makes the whole story more enjoyable, I think. And
for sure.
It allows any message that story is trying to have, it lets it be heard rather than with Superman. Any kind of message you're trying to get across, Superman's strength and virtue. It's like, cool, he's strong and virtuous. He's also not human, and I have no relation to him. I mean,
we talk about Superman, but there's so many heroes in the Justice League and the DC universe.
Yeah.
But still, I'm trying to think. You have some characters that are interesting in the DC universe, but it's still different. The way it's written, the way they are written are different because they don't start. I don't feel they start at the same point. They feel like it's, when you started writing it, you started writing it by the power, and then you went with it.
Yeah, rather than I write the human and then give them the power.
What kind of character?
Which actually ties in pretty well to whenever we're writing characters for whatever, whether it's
I mean, I know
games or whatever else. We always start with.
I go with a basic idea. I go with whenever I write a character, I go with an image I have in my head. Would it be a physical idea? A moment or a power, but I go with an image in my head. Yeah,
and I tend to do a similar thing, start with an image in your head, because if you have an image, you can look into that picture and pick out the reasons behind things.
Which is weird when we think about it.
It is, we But along with that, I tend to find flaws, just because every human has
flaws. Yeah.
Flaws.
Yeah.
And if you find that when you're writing a fictional character, you can pick up on that flaw that you would find interesting to explore when writing through that character and playing through that character and whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
So you identify the flaw that would be interesting, and then you build up reasons for it.
That's for sure. Well, I mean, yeah. When you take for example Iron Man. So one of the big thing about Marvel DC relationship is that a few of the heroes from DC were stolen. DC heroes were stolen by Marvel. Because you have some characters with the same guidelines coming out a few years or a few months afterwards. So, for example, Iron Man is the copy of Batman. It's a rich playboy, millionaire, billionaire.
But how could Batman ever be a playboy? He's too miserable.
Batman. Batman. But the point of Batman is, that's not the point. But what we're talking about here. But the point of Batman is, during the day he's a playboy millionaire who goes into the city and.
I think that all the films have forgotten that since Christian Bale went away.
Because none of us care. That's. But since Christian Bale went away, because we only had Batman versus Superman.
That's true. Because
in Batman versus Superman, he is being a playboy millionaire.
Yeah, but it's Batfleck.
It's Batfleck. Well, I mean, it's
How can Batfleck be a playboy?
Well,
who would ever want to be with Batfleck?
That's horrible. Poor man.
Anyway, Iron Man.
Anyway,
the actual playboy.
The actual playboy. You take Batman and Iron Man, and I think those kind of stories, whether or not it's been copied or not, Marvel characters, and it's even if it's stolen, those ideas are there in the world. So what I mean by that is it's general ideas. Playboy millionaire, someone rich who's making a suit or with his money gadget and trying to fight crime. And making it. I feel every time those kind of characters where they were stolen and copied by Marvel. I don't know if it's true, but I always feel like they've done it better.
They have, yeah.
Like Batman, Iron Man. Batman is a cool character. He is one of the coolest characters ever. He's cool, but he's not relatable. He's not a character that you...
I think that describes it pretty well.
You don't... Whenever he's down, you're not like, oh my god, Batman is going to die.
I think now when I refer to Batman, I'm sticking to the Christian Bale...
Yeah, because you've seen only the movies, right?
Yeah, because I've only seen the movies, and those movies, that unified trilogy, that's Batman to me. That's that portrayal of it, and it's dark, it's gritty. It's funny in a few places, but you see a lot of the character development, and I like that. I don't like characters when you just see this is the character in a state, and this is them doing stuff, but they don't change. Through that trilogy, you do see him change and grow, and now that's important.
I mean, through the comics, of course, he changes.
Of course. But with Batman, he's a very cool image. it's very cool to think like the guy with the big cape flying down from the sky in the darkness.
Batman main like point is, he's prepared for everything. He is that normal guy with a lot of money who is working with aliens, gods, and stuff, and he is prepared for every situation. But it's not relatable.
No.
And again, like I feel like, depending on what you want to say, again, like maybe it was a deliberate choice by the DC writers. Iron Man is definitely more relatable as a character.
For sure.
You start with the same kind of basic idea: playboy, billionaire, and then genius, playboy, genius, billionaire, and then what do you? Each of those characters start with two different backstory. One of them is just, well, he does weapons. He is a weapon.
He's an engineer.
He's an engineer for weapons of mass destruction.
That's why engineers are the best.
No, because they make weapons.
Because you can become Iron Man.
No, because you can become Iron Man. Fair. But it's a guy who is making he's basically a jock. Iron Man.
He's a bit of a jock.
Before he's
a nerd mixed jock.
Tony Stark, before becoming Iron Man, is a jock. He's that guy that sleeps with a lot of ladies. He is gritty,
misogynistic.
Misogynistic. He makes weapon of mass destruction again. He's not cool.
And that's
right?
just good business.
He's just right. We'll not go. We'll not talk about that. And then just Batman is just a rich kid that got his parents killed in an alley.
Yeah.
And then decided to go train in the mountains of
darkness
with the
So, it's like rich little kid got his parents killed. All of a sudden he's a ninja.
No, I mean no, not all of a sudden. You have training.
I mean why did he go to the mountains to train?
Because
there's reasons
there are reasons. It's the same way when I was explaining the
doesn't feel very strong reason.
It's exactly.
I feel like enough people in real life get their parents killed in alleyways that don't go and become ninjas.
It feels like whenever I talk to you about comics and you're like, well, that's bad writing, and it feels like bad writing because it's always okay. So Batman is that kid Bruce Wayne has his parents killed. And I want to go 20 years in the future, and now he has a full armor and fighting bad guys under the name Batman. Okay, what's in the middle?
Yeah.
Right, let's put something in Batman, in the middle to make it sense.
In Batman, we see the growth between him going from I'm starting as Batman, and I'm now full-on straight-up Batman. We'd never see the massive transformation that is, I'm a little kid to, I'm a ninja.
Watch Gotham. Basically the story. Which Gotham is good.
But I think one of the bigger things with Iron Man, you see him as this normal human professional guy, and then you see very clearly his transformation. Yeah, you see him go from rich normal guy to Iron Man, and he's already in a pretty unique circumstance, and you can see how he goes from that. But like I said, in terms of being relatable, enough people's parents get killed and they don't go and become ninjas. Batman.
Maybe depending on the amount of money that you have, if you
have the spend any money becoming a ninja. He just goes to a mountain and there's some people there.
No, but he does. But the point is, if you had the money to do whatever you want, and you are 10 when your parents get killed, what do you do with it?
Well, you wouldn't get the money when you're 10.
Okay, Andrew. Goddamn it.
It would be put in the fund for you till you're 18, and your legal guardian would take care of you.
So basically, well, I'm pretty sure Alfred had the money for quite some time.
Well, if Alfred let little Bruce spend that away, then Alfred's not a very responsible guardian.
Well, it's Bruce. It's
Michael
Bruce Wayne.
needs to get some better money management.
How you control a Bruce Wayne that wants to learn how to do martial art, Andrew?
Well, you
don't
give
control it.
You give him a teacher, a normal freaking human being.
But yet he did, and then he kicked the ass of every teacher. I don't know the exact thing.
How does that happen?
I don't know, but he was super good.
I'm a spoiled rich kid, and I'm therefore a ninja.
Batman knows he's the best. He's literally the one. Yeah, the best. No, he's not the best, but he's one of the best martial artists in the DC world.
See that, I
think one
of my issues with DC characters is because things like that, where he is now the best martial artist in the world.
Because
that in itself is such an enormous genius. No, being intelligent does not equate to being good at martial arts.
But he's also really
I'm a
good.
little bit intelligent and not very good at martial arts.
Well,
because DC, it just says that he is.
Yeah.
It doesn't show you, like, people go through years of training a specific martial art to become good, and most of them never become close to being the best.
They show you, in the comics, they show you, he trains, he kicks the ass of bad guys, but, whenever he's in front of, like, Bane or, like, any other guy, you don't feel like he's the best martial art in the world. Like, martial artist in the world.
I think one of the issues with Batman is when you see him doing these fights and things, it's very easy to pick the holes in it. Like, and obviously, I know, like, when you're watching a thing, if you pick holes in it, you're looking for it to fail.
But like, if today we were talking about Stanley and the writing and the difference of writing, and I think but
it just trailed as me disliking Batman.
We went straight for it. But
easy target though.
Yeah, easy target.
Let's bring it back to.
No, what I meant was, if we're talking about Stanley and his writing style, we have to compare it with something. And if you compare it to most DC characters, you see the difference.
Yeah, at their core,
feel the difference.
At their core, they're relatable. You see their growth.
Yeah.
And I think that those are probably the most important things in terms of liking these characters and feeling and getting their message and
when you see
being immersed in it.
When you read the new issues of Thor and the different characters written by Stanley, and I read a bit of I mostly read Marvel, but I read a bit of DC sometimes because you get some cool stories. But the characters evolve in very different ways.
Yeah.
So, for example, I feel like Batman story evolves. You have you have all the intricacy of the Batman family. Catwoman. He married Catwoman a few months earlier in one of the comics. So you have movement in the story, right? But you don't have movement in what he is. He will always be Batman, right? You take Thor. Thor went into 2 years of full change. For 2 years ago, he wasn't Thor anymore. Thor was his girlfriend with his the girlfriend he has in the movie Thor's. You never watched them, okay? Andrew, what the heck? Like, watch Thor's. Like, what is this?
No.
Yeah.
I love certain aspects of the MCU. Thor is not a character I.
Wait, did you watch Ragnarok? Oh my god. Why are you here? Get up.
Dude, we started this whole conversation being like people that are relatable. He's a god from an alien planet.
Fair enough. Yeah, but he's still... No, I'm not talking about
He travels
to
Earth by playing Mario Kart Rainbow Road, man.
No, that's for sure. He's not relatable for humans. But, my god. But the characters, the way the story is written is... It changes. And, so many things happens with Thor. He loses an arm. He doesn't become a Thor anymore. He goes back to being Thor. But it's so many things happens in the Thor storyline.
Loses an eye, conveniently finds a new one.
No, that's in the movies, Andrew. Yeah, but yeah. Not conveniently. It's a bionic. It makes sense. Like
kinda.
Well,
Kleptomaniac Raccoon gives him an eye.
No,
that's it.
Basically, in all movies of Guardians of the Galaxy, Rocket is trying to steal body parts.
He's a kleptomaniac raccoon.
No, but kleptomaniac raccoons, but kleptomaniac for body parts, prosthetics.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would understand that he has an eye.
I mean, it's understandable that he would have one.
Yeah.
It's still a weird coincidence that you have a character that is a body part klepto.
I mean, the point was just that they meet the Guardian of the Galaxy because they were looking for Thanos, and Thanos, yeah. It makes sense, okay, Andrew? Don't try to destroy the story.
Chris Pratt gets all
judgy about yeah. But yeah,
I mean, I feel for him, I mean, Hemsworth is him. I mean, now one thing I love about the MCU is you see all these heroes. Now, the MCU is an amazing, especially it's
great. I think
the cinematic.
I think it's funny how
it's probably the largest and most successful single franchise movies ever.
Yeah, it is. It's the biggest movie project ever created.
And
it's
one
so many
thing
movies.
that I find it's kind of funny. I want
to check how many movies.
I fear for any kind of negative aspects of it. But if you watch the first Captain America, the first Thor,
great
and
movie.
then you look at them now, it's like they ate themselves. They're huge. They're all trying to
in the first one.
In the first film they look normal humans. They're like, that's a buff human. And then you look at them in Infinity Wars, and it's like they just swallowed themselves from the past. Like
because
they're
enormous.
They're huge
Now.
Like Chris Hemsworth's arms are like the size of my torso. It's ridiculous.
They're pretty big. But going back to the main point here, Stanley, we go around. It's fine. No, it's one of the biggest thing he has done is definitely the Marvel universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's
for sure.
And why we can talk about comics and characters now so well, and even with you, someone who doesn't read comics.
I mean, I'm an example. I haven't really read comics. I was never something I did as a kid. But
it's something that I found great because he made the culture of comics and the culture of superheroes.
That's true. I think superhero films, and especially the MCU, are responsible for kind of the popularization of superheroes and comics.
I mean, today for sure. Today, when you watch the movie that comes out, there are different things. For sure, everyone has. I know a lot of people. I have a friend who's done cinematography. He hates superhero movies. He doesn't think that it's very interesting. Because it's just basically the hero's journey, and it's just you do that again with different characters. And I don't know. I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe was, and as we talked about it, I think another time when we talked about the geek culture, when we talk on D&D, it's one of the reason why the geeky culture has become such the forefront of today's society, where so many people talk about it, and it's something that everyone can talk about now. Whenever you talk about Iron Man, whenever you talk about Hulk, people, even not everyone can talk about it, but most people have seen the movies. Most people can talk about it. Stanley wasn't, he was part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but he wasn't, I'm not going to say I don't know if he was one of the main writers or not, but the Marvel Cinematic Universe helped over just for Marvel. It was not just Marvel becoming one of the leading industries, one of the leading production for superheroes. It was also Marvel being one of the spearhead for the geeky culture. And it's fine to go watch those superheroes movies. It's fine to know about superheroes because 20 years ago you'd be a nerd and a geek, and
for sure it wasn't an open conversation.
No,
but now
wasn't.
You take
sure.
anyone, they've seen a Marvel film, I'm not going to pretend that they're the most amazing, deepest literature out there. But I think at its core,
really cool.
At its core, they're fun.
Yeah,
it's a fun movie.
But that's the point of it's
and that's all it needs to be.
Yeah, for sure.
I think one of the most impressive parts of it is you've taken this slow build of films, right? From decade, they've been going for over a decade now with these things.
Yeah, I mean they started slowly, 2008.
Yeah, slowly.
I mean the phase 1. So
slowly building up the characters, the universe. To think that a single franchise has been going for a decade and produced that many films of a pretty consistent quality too. Now they're bringing it all together. You have this thing which over time has built these fans who are not comic book readers, who are not your traditional nerds or whatever you want to call them. And now you have them coming together and getting excited about Infinity War. People who would normally not be talking, people who would normally not indulge in superhero stuff. They come together over this enormous climax. This is a climax of a story and of a narrative bigger than
ever.
Yeah, it's never been done before.
Okay, so I just checked the
and
number.
It's also quite funny as when you see the DC trying to just jump to where they are now and failing miserably.
I mean, comics-wise, Marvel is not going great at the moment. DC is doing better. But it's true that, cinematic-wise, DC has made a lot of mistakes. And I just checked the number of movies from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's 20 movies. So being sure that, in 10 years, you have writers from a lot of writers, mm-hmm. that decided, okay, guys, we're going to make one big story, and without one character's being or one movie being so out of place.
Yeah,
they all feel the same.
Yeah, and they all very much feel in the same universe.
Yeah, definitely. It was pretty impressive because even if you have some movies like Thor 2 that are not great, you still know it's because you have so many different writers. It's still pretty impressive what they did.
Yeah, and also because of the scale of it, if one film's not great, it doesn't feel like it mars the whole thing.
No, but also you could destroy the entire thing by I don't know, like you take the Guardian of the Galaxy 2 or this kind of thing, and then you do a story plot where it's not really a good reason for, like for example, they're looking for Thanos at the end, and you give a bad reason why they're looking for Thanos, let's say, and it feels out of place because now that you have the entire Avengers, you have everyone for Avengers Infinity Wars, and then you have the Guardian of the Galaxy. But as the audience, you're like, I don't really know why they're looking for him, but okay. But no, they didn't. All the characters are brought into this final act as it's understandable, and even I've watched all the movies. I know most of them pretty well, but I don't remember every storyline by heart. But when you watch the Avengers Infinity Wars, I didn't watch, I know some people who watched the entire thing before going to the cinema and watching Infinity War. Yeah, that
would be a commitment.
That's long.
Lord of the Rings, step aside.
Well, Lord of the Rings is long too.
It is long, but there's 3 of them. There's 20 of these.
No, for sure. You take the day. You take the day off. The weekend off.
The
weekend off. Yeah.
I mean, that's at least 2 solid days.
That's at
most
least
most of these films are between 1.5 to 2.5 hours.
Yeah, so it's like between 20.
It's about 40 to 48 hours.
Yeah, it's pretty long. And
solid.
But you could have done it in 20 days before they came out.
I mean, yeah, you could.
Yeah. But you watch the Avengers Infinity Wars, and I was sitting with a bunch of friends, and some of them had watched some of the Marvel movies, but not all of them, and they all understood. They were all following the story, because it's that kind of story that is so it's easy story. It's not very complex.
Yeah.
But you get it.
Yeah.
If you watch any Avengers,
it's a story written in a large font with bold writing.
It's weird. It's that weird thing. Like you think that simplicity and being basic storyline, are sometimes frowned upon, or like, oh, that story isn't very complex, or
bad guy comes along, heroes to combat it.
I mean,
blah, blah, blah.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe in a way is very complex, but in its own way, it's simple. You watch Avengers Infinity War and you can put someone in it. Okay, he won't understand who the characters are, but he will get the story.
Yeah.
And that means 20 movies of characters development and story. Well, you kind of get it with the Infinity War. How do you make a long story like that with 20 different movies where each of them you can watch them just like this, just one.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have the full story around. It's really impressive.
It is, yeah.
It's really impressive.
I think one of the testaments, and we're both wannabe creators.
Yeah.
But
wannabe creative.
Yeah, but in being creative, I think a lot of the drive behind it is you want to create something that other people will feel too. You want to laugh or cry or just feel something. And I think one of
for sure
the legacies that good old Stan is going to leave behind is this whole universe, this enormous project of films that has not only been an impressive project of film, but has also been this unifying, boundary-breaking entity which has taken people who would not have read comics, like myself. I didn't read comics as a kid. They just weren't around. But you take people like me, people who, the jocks who do nothing but play sports all day and don't want to touch video games or whatever else. Almost anyone can enjoy a superhero movie, and because of that genre's explosion over the last 10, 15 years, you now have all these people from all these walks of life
true.
putting aside labels and like nerd, geek, forget those labels. Is it fun? Do it.
Yeah.
And I think that is incredibly important. Just in general, important. And I think I can't think of many things that have done that mission as successfully as.
And there's a quote,
Marvel Universe.
There's a quote from Stan Lee. I don't know the exact thing, but he says, in the beginning he was a bit ashamed of saying he was a comic writer, because it's not as important as doctor or something like that. But there is an importance to it, which is you entertain people. Yeah. And we talked about it as a creator. What's the value of being a creator? What do you add to the world?
Yeah.
Well, you add your creations, that's for sure. But what are your creations? What do you want to take out of it? And Stan Lee for sure entertained the world. You have with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with Marvel, that is a running comic production for the past 50 years. Everyone knows Spider-Man, everyone knows Hulk, everyone knows Thor, and everyone knows Iron Man. And if you don't know the story, you know the names.
Yeah, and as we create and we're both engineers, but we're also branching into creative career.
I mean, I feel more like a creator. And then sometimes I'm an engineer.
Yeah, but as we branch into that, you see, when I run a game and I write story and characters and things, and I see you guys playing that game and enjoying it, very few things have brought me as much joy as that.
Yeah.
So when you write a world like the MCU and fill it with these characters, and then you see the millions and millions of people that have banded together from all walks of life to enjoy these fantastical movies and comics and stories, that's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing. I agree with you. It's you know what? It's pretty amazing.
I think there's a good point to make our break. I guess it's 5 to 10. So this is going to be a long one. I think we'll probably make the second half really short.
Why?
Well, that's, You know what? Good question.
Why?
We'll see. All right. Well, we're going to dive for a break.
Yeah.
Put some music on.
In good memory of Stanley.
Yeah.
Do you know where everywhere you can see Excelsior?
Tell me.
So Excelsior is, maybe you've seen that on Instagram or whatever. It's on every picture of Stanley. People say, Excelsior, because in the Marvel book, you had a column where the writer could write something. And every time he would write something, he would finish by Excelsior as an end note. Hello.
We're back.
That was cool. That was cool music. I like that.
That was The Boy Who Shed a Time, and it's
Yes,
from the League of Legends album War Songs.
Yeah. War Songs. I always listen to it when I play. Really cool album.
I listen to it when I'm walking around. I've slowly been realizing that everything I do in life is just in whatever aspect I can draw from it, helping me escape real life.
It's like depressive, but also like weirdly, I understand it.
Yeah.
Why do I draw? Why do I write stories? Right. But reality is cool, man. It has its own fantasy. Life is cool. I don't know. I tried to find like a
poetic.
Poetic way to not be like, let's just leave. Yeah.
Anyway, talking of the bright happiness of reality, let's dive back into what we were talking about last week.
The bright happiness.
The end of the world.
The end of the world. I love it.
So last week we rambled on this a little bit last week.
But no one will know. I mean,
no one will know.
I mean, except the people that listen to us live.
That one person that gets up at 7 is
that
heading
one person
to
that was
uni.
changing. No, that he was changing the radio, and then he just heard us and saying "end of the world," and then he changed it again. That's it. That's.
I'm assuming our only live listeners. Like, there's one person that gets up around 8, and like they're traveling from home to uni between 9 and 10. And like I'm assuming that like their phone is broken, or something. And when they tune in to the radio because they haven't got music because their phone is broken, this is the only thing available. So
makes sense.
This is the shout out to you, broken phone guy or girl.
Broken.
Thanks for listening.
I mean, like, I don't know anyone except if you have a car in the student community who would listen to the radio.
Yeah, I don't think I've listened to the radio.
I mean, TuneIn is the website that we use to listen to it.
I think, well, TuneIn is a website you can use to listen to radio stations all over the world. I'm sure there are others. I don't know them. And all we've been told is tunein.com at Fuse FM. So you can catch us there. I mean, if you're listening live, then you're already there.
If you're in the car, and then, or maybe, they're in the car, and then they're going back to work, but they don't want to go to work, and they want to keep continuing. They just want to keep listening.
Oh man, that's
go on Fuse
ambitious.
FM, go on tunein.com.
Yeah. Now, if you are just joining us now, this is Neon Sunrise. We're going late because we can and can't manage time.
Because no one will stop us. Maybe if we go over 11, but not until.
So we'll probably go for another half an hour or so more.
Yeah.
If you are just joining us now and want to catch the rest of the episode that you've just missed, and previous episodes, you can catch the rest of this on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. If you type in Chasing Tales, which is the name of our channel, Chasing as you'd spell it, and Tales as in stories, TALES. You'll find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes. So go do that. Go check us out. And
I do the audio editing, so please go listen to it because it takes time.
Alex does all of everything pretty much. Like, I choose the music and download it.
Andrew does the music, and I do everything.
Pretty much, yeah. We just turn up. My preparation is like half an hour of going through music.
I feel,
and you spend hours listening to this over again, editing away.
I hate our voices, man. I just hate us.
I mean, this is one of the reasons I assume we have no listeners.
Because they hate our voices? I hope not.
I hope not, but I wouldn't listen to this.
Well, you know what? Some of my... I wouldn't listen to myself talk about the stuff that are... no.
Well, the premise of this show is just we had these conversations anyway, and we figured, hey, we enjoy having these conversations. Maybe someone will enjoy listening.
I think we had so much talking opportunities and just talking material that we were like, let's just, and I think it was because we wanted to do a podcast. And
we did, yeah.
And another kind of podcast. And I was like, okay, how do we make a podcast? Maybe we can use the studio at the uni. And they were like, okay. And then I saw the possibility of making our own show. And I was like, Andrew, let's do it. I don't care. Let's just do it.
Yeah. And so when we fail our dissertations and fail university, it'll be all your fault.
That's not how it works.
It is.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Anyway.
We've plugged our iTunes.
We've played iTunes.
We've played some music.
We've played some music. So now it's time for the second half of Neon Sunrise. So,
enter cool synthy jingle.
Dun, dun, dun.
If you have any cool synthy jingles, send them our way.
Yeah. On the email.
I'm not going to give them my email.
I don't know. I don't know because I made an email for Neon Sunrise. I forgot what it is exactly.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I did.
Professional.
For the YouTube channel, man. Because the videos are great. And I wasn't going to
put...
The
videos are cool. If you check out the YouTube, we've got some really sexy visuals which go along with the episode.
Oh my god. It's so long to do.
It's worth it,
It's just because my computer just can't handle the amount of repeat of the GIF.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't find a thing where I can't find the button just on repeat. So the GIF I need to do all the iteration of the GIF. And so it feels like the computer just loads it as, okay, you just put 2,000 videos in for just that video.
Yeah.
So it's really just super heavy. And it takes so much time. Anyway, we wanted to talk about the end of the world.
Last week... preparation.
So last week we talked about the cause of the end of the world.
We did.
Talking about zombies, natural disasters,
climate change,
virus. Okay, so I think if we wanted to start on the topic and not, because last time we
rambled for a bit.
We rambled for a bit. We were like, well,
we just talked in circles about what could cause apocalypses, what would be the most likely.
So I think we should go, because it englobes most of the stories and most of the possibilities is not zombies. So you're on Earth, so kind of Fallout. You know. So
are we saying nuclear war? Go.
So no, because you would have it. What I'm saying is just you surviving and not a lot of other people. So the point of surviving in the world is it's the end of the world, but it's kind of like Mad Max Fallout.
Okay, so there's no one else there.
There's not a lot of survivors. So it's not like Walking Dead, because Walking Dead, the point is, you have zombies and you have
people.
Some people.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like Fallout, where you're a survivor. It's the end of the world. 2012 Fallout. Mad Max Fallout 2012.
These are all you're just spouting names of just very different franchises.
Well, at the end you have like
2012, like a tsunami just comes and slam dunks Earth. But Fallout is very definitively nuclear war.
The end of it is the same. There isn't a lot of people on Earth.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Sure.
You know what I mean. There isn't no zombies on Earth.
Okay, we'll stay clear of zombies just because, while there are definitely fungi and bacteria which can do that.
Yep.
On which
ants.
is super fun.
Which is weird.
It is.
It's shroom. It's basically mushrooms, for the people that don't know. It's basically a fungus that will attack the body of an ant and control its nervous system to control it. So basically having a dead ant move around with like a fungus coming out of it.
And it makes it crawl up a tree, plants it into the tree, and then it explodes and sends spores of that fungus.
That's cool.
Down, which is terrifying.
Like,
can you imagine people doing that? Like, someone just climbs on top of a building and just explodes.
Well, we can't climb on things.
We can boulder pretty well. It's a bouldering zombie. It's like get some chalk on the hands.
Oh my god!
That's to be fair. That's very Last of Us.
That's very Last of Us. It's very it's one of the kind of type of zombies that are like, which is for another time, because today we're talking about the end of the world. We always go around and ramble about other things, and now we used like if zombies is a good subject, we could put
if
it
it's zombies or
else.
not. If you could have Ashley Johnson to be there with a bow and arrow,
and Ashley Johnson, the voice actors for Ellie in The Last of Us. So taking in maybe Fallout, nuclear war.
That game.
What?
Great narrative in that game.
Which game?
Last of Us.
Yeah, great narrative.
Awesome.
Anywho, how would you survive in a world where survivors are trying to? People outside of your close circle would try to kill you.
Okay, so are we assuming that most people are hostile? Okay.
Yeah, because end of the world. Yeah.
And we're humans.
We're humans.
We assume someone else has something we want and therefore want it.
If it's the end of the world and I don't have anything to protect me, I would just be scared.
You should be scared.
I should be scared.
Yeah.
It's the end of the world, Alex, and you don't have a gun to protect yourself.
And this advice goes for like real life as well. Never be scared. Always be cautious.
That's for sure. Can I have the right to be scared for the end of the world?
No.
Damn it.
Be cautious.
Be cautious. I was prepared for this. Really? You were prepared for the attack of aliens? Yeah. Yeah, I was.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Prepare for everything.
I had everything prepared.
I'm not saying grow like a big beard and dig a hole in your garden, but like, just have it in the back of your mind.
I had a box with everything I needed in it.
So, first question. Your little community, right?
Right.
Your friends. Your little...
We're like 10.
Okay, so like number-wise, thinking around 10?
We're 10 or less.
10 or less.
So something where you can move without making a lot of sound. You would need one transportation, like a bus or like a very big car to put everyone in. Yeah, I don't know. What's a car for 10
End of
people?
the world in a minivan. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love the 70s, okay? Going around.
Just get a shag van and just buzz around in that.
Yeah. Do.
Yeah.
Man likes shag van.
Okay. I would probably, my ideal, I would probably go 5 or less.
Right.
Few people, less mouths to feed, enough people that you can have like watches through the night.
Fair. So
I was like, with 10, you're better prepared for that.
Where would you stay though? Or would you stay, or would you keep moving?
I think if people are a threat, I would keep moving.
Would keep moving. So you wouldn't do that, sometimes.
Travel light. Carry a tent with you. And either go into like very overgrown, wilder places to set up camp because you're much better. You're much better hidden in that kind of place.
Like if I was in the States, I'd go into like North Canada.
North Canada, you'd freeze to death.
Well, at least like the forest in North Canada, like no one knows.
I mean, you'd be hidden, but you'd also be an icicle.
Well, yeah.
Well, you won, my friend. It's the Colorado Rockies.
What is that?
Or most of Utah.
I'll be in the forest in France. No one will find me.
Yeah, probably.
Because only Americans survive. It's true. In stories, only Americans survive.
Yeah, I mean that's because America is the best and strongest country in the world, and is therefore the protagonist in any story ever.
Aliens are going to come, they're always going to come on in New York.
Well, yeah, I mean, why wouldn't
Washington.
They?
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, of course they would.
Why would they
First
go
tourist
in
spot? Lady Liberty.
Straight. Yeah. Straight. Makes sense. Except in District 9.
Except District 9, because Neil Blomkamp is...
Because they decided to go to Johannesburg in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so, okay, let's say we are in the States just for the sake of movies.
I mean,
what do you want to be? Okay,
I mean,
what do you
here, we live in England, so...
Okay, let's be in England, the country that I'm...
talk about here.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I mean, are you more familiar with England or America?
Well, yeah, England. Okay, fair enough.
Right.
Okay, where would you go if you're in England?
In England? Okay, so if we're assuming that people are a danger...
You don't want to see anyone.
Assuming you don't want to see anyone, I think step 1 is definitely find things to protect yourself with.
Avoid big cities.
Would you potentially? Now, the thing with big cities, if we're assuming that there are not very many people here at all, big cities are very big places with a million places to hide.
But the point is, you don't want to be always scared of like finding someone in the like turning a street and then another group. Cool.
Which is why you're careful.
Which is why you're careful. But don't you want to be like just have a farm and be somewhere where no one will come?
I think that is an end goal.
That's the goal.
I think that's like where you're moving to.
Right.
Now,
but you could go through the city if you've been going.
Yeah. No, cities are they are concentrations of resources.
Yeah, for sure.
There are supermarkets with canned food everywhere. There's more people, more stuff. You might find. I'm sure there are things that Andrew can't think of in this instant that would be useful.
Yeah. So less than 5 people, you move.
Mm-hmm.
What will you be? So before like setting down. So let's go like chronological order.
I don't like setting down.
Right. So you would never set down.
Well, see, now I've thought about apocalypses quite a lot because I'm a little nerd that thinks about apocalypses. And what I often think would be my kind of time there is because I'm not the kind of person to settle down. I don't like farming. I'm really bad at growing plants. I've killed every plant I've ever had in my bedroom.
That's really bad.
Like brutally, like on purpose.
I just store it. Just like
tear it apart. This beautiful orchid for a while, then it died. No, so one thing that in these situations is a problem is obviously people want to find people. People have lost people they care about. They've lost friends, and people who are scattered in whatever initial disaster occurred.
And one guy says, "In the West, I heard everyone survived." And you go to the West, and there's no one.
I like moving around, and I've always liked bushcraft and survival stuff like that. And
that's okay. Why not?
I think I would make. I would try and carve out. I'd try and carve out a job of going to any settlements or groups of people as kind of a neutral, peaceful guy. And be like, hey, is there anyone or anything that you've lost that has been scattered by whatever event has happened?
So you decided it's the end of the world. I have the possibility to be a real life adventurer from my RPGs and just be that.
Yeah, I'd help. I would if someone
a life of adventure.
If someone has lost someone or something in the chaos, I will do what I can and follow what rumors and leads I can and be an investigator and try and find that.
Like,
and,
hello, my name is the Finder.
Well, I mean, I haven't come up with any kind of cool nicknames myself. I feel like you have to do a few jobs first, and someone will give you a name.
Someone will give it to you.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I think it's a bit pretentious to kind of just give yourself a name.
The blonde man, nope. The cool glasses guy, nope. The Finder, I like that. Let's keep that. Okay.
I mean, you seem pretty fixed on Finder, so
yeah, I'll just keep on Finder. Well, you find things. You just, the Finder.
But I think that would be good because, like, I'm not the kind of guy to settle down. I like moving around.
Right.
And also, I like investigating things and following.
What
leads.
would you have on?
And also, I think like it's important.
Yeah.
In a setting like this, where we're assuming everyone's hostile.
True.
If you can approach other people and try and build a community and do favors for people and make other people happy, and like reunite them with things that they've lost, I think that would be an important thing to try and do.
True. Because even if you are not in a settlement, you can help that settlement grow.
Yeah. So if there's a bunch of settlements that are like maybe are hostile to each other or whatever, if you can be the mediator, if you can be this neutral entity that can move between all these things, you can benefit from them and be a beacon of bringing people together rather than being kind of this. Just disappear into the hills and start a farm.
It feels like you have like a better idea on what to do with your life whenever you're gonna have the end of the world than right now. That is true.
It's
just like if it's the end of the world, I want to be a hero. But what do you want to do tomorrow? I don't know. It's us.
Write stories about heroes.
Because I can't be one myself. Damn it. Don't take it like this.
No comment.
Joking. Right. What would you have?
What about you?
What about me?
What would you do?
I would find
end of the world.
But
I'm
not like you. I'm not ready to start
a hero.
I need a hero. No. I wouldn't go around helping people.
Such idiots.
Because I don't know. I feel like I'd like to go. It's the kind of moment where, for you, the end of the world is the opportunity to become a hero. For me, the end of the world is just an opportunity to have a chill life. And I'm just gonna be like,
and you're gonna go build a log cabin somewhere.
Exactly.
Build a log cabin.
If I'm in France,
be a farmer.
I'll just go like somewhere like Normandy.
I'm picturing you in like a plaid shirt and jeans with a chainsaw.
Chainsaw, well, yeah.
Cutting down trees.
No, I have someone
your
else.
log cabin.
I have a big friend called Bob. Bob would do all the manual work, and I'll do all the rest.
What's the rest?
I don't know.
In a quotation marks chill life where you're living off the land. Which part of it isn't manual labor?
Just I don't know, like finding gas for your car.
Has Alex ever done any kind of camping or survival stuff?
I think the closest to it I've done was, and it's pretty rad. Like it's pretty.
In a caravan?
No, I went into a caravan once.
Poor thing.
No. I went school trip in the bush when I was in South Africa. So we would camp outside in the bush where you would have like things to kill you, and that's all I did.
Okay.
But that's like I did like once a year for 3 days. It was like wow.
Okay,
that's all I've done. I don't know. I'm not great. I wanted to do the scouts, like Boy Scouts, when I was.
Yeah, I mean, I did as well. I mean, so I was in.
No, I never did because it doesn't.
Right.
But
I wanted
to do it.
I was in the Cub Scouts, which is like the younger kiddie version.
Oh.
I did get kicked out.
Oh my god!
But that was for bad behavior, not incompetence.
I was really good at what I was doing, but every time I was doing it, I was flipping
good at
everyone.
I was just a very disruptive child. Just like I think I had like one friend there, and just me and this guy would just screw around constantly.
Oh my God.
I feel so bad.
Okay, Andrew, can you make a fire for tonight? Well, I don't know. Can't you make it for yourself?
No, like I'd make a fire. It would just not be with anything they wanted burning.
Wait, so you got kicked out while being a Cub Scout?
I didn't make it to Scouts.
So you were a Cub, and you were just like
I was. Yeah.
Okay. Just being a smart mouth.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I did. I was in the cadets though. I was in the.
You were in the cadets.
The CCF, or the Combined Cadet Force, which is better than the.
That was in first year, right?
No. So back in secondary school and high school, I spent 3 years in the Army section of the cadets. I got to. This is a bit of a tangent. I got to. What was it? It was Cadet Sergeant Major, which doesn't mean an awful lot. I was instructor.
All right.
Because in these kind of environments, the cadets that progress through that like become instructors and help run lessons for the younger cadets and so on. So I did that, for I think 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 years. Yeah.
That's cool.
And that was a cool experience. And
would you say that that would help you try to survive on your own?
I mean, like I for sure learned a lot there. To do that, I've going camping has always been something I've done for like throughout my life.
Yeah.
Like with my dad and stuff, we'd go camping. Yeah, like bushcraft survival stuff, and like he was my dad was in the Air Force.
Right.
So he did a lot of adventure training stuff like that. So he kind of put his children through that kind of forcefully. There's like a 5-year-old Andrew somewhere in the past going like, I don't want to go camping. But 20-year-old Andrew is like, I want to go camping again.
Oh, no. Bugs everywhere.
I know it was. So yeah, like I've done quite a lot of bushcrafty survival stuff. It's a lot of fun.
You would be fine being a traveling hero during the end of the world.
I mean, I think I've got plenty of stuff to learn before I could do that easily. But
I think
I could learn to do it.
You could learn to do it. I feel like, I don't know. I would be like with 10 people and have like a very small settlement in a small city in France, in Normandy, and just live there, just have no problem.
And I'd come visit.
Come visit and just be
I'd bring you exotic things.
Just
you
talk
about
your adventuring life, and just last night I killed like 5 guys.
I think I'd need to kind of influence someone in some settlement to develop film, to like how to develop film. And then I would like make a point of like the weird quirky things I'd collect on my adventures would be these like disposable Kodak cameras.
Why disposable? It's still like we would still find like normal cameras.
But like, so I mean, I have a wood.
Automatically think it's the 90s.
Well, because I have a wood stove, right, that has a thermocouple generator on it. So it's a little wood stove.
Yeah.
And as you feed wood into it, it burns. You can cook stuff on it and everything. But it also
that's a wood stove.
It also generates electricity, and it has a USB charger on it. It's really, really cool.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Awesome. Which means in the apocalypse, I can still have my iPod, and my phone. No signal. But
yeah, that's really cool.
So
how big is the stove?
It's maybe.
So it's portable.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's so great.
Sits in a backpack. I've got a grill attachment.
You could be a walking hero with listening to his music on an iPod.
Yeah, I mean it's not advisable because you can't hear things as well. But like when you're like in your little camp chilling out and you've got other people to help you, you can listen to music.
That's really cool.
But to develop pictures and other stuff and like recordings,
it's a bit harder.
You need to charge up your phone or whatever, your camera.
Or find a generator and just do it.
Okay, so where's Alex going to go look for a generator?
Just go to the generator store.
General store, yeah. But like,
just go buy it.
You have to go and print pictures, right?
Yeah.
So I think what you need is
a big generator,
a nice Polaroid camera.
Well,
just something that doesn't require external power and support, right?
I mean, it's easier.
You take a digital camera, and you need the camera, you need the computer, and then you
battery,
need a printer.
Yeah, it's
right?
very complicated.
All of these things which require support.
What would you have to defend yourself? What would you have on you, when you're traveling? What would be your weapon of choice?
I mean, we're like definitely branching into absolute guesswork because I haven't done this before.
No, but like, okay, let's say you don't have a firearm.
Oh, I mean, why?
No, because for now, like, that's
I know
the
where
question.
to get firearms.
I asked the question. You don't have a firearm, all right? Because we have like 6 to 10 minutes, and if we start talking about firearms, you'll go on an hour.
Okay, well, I'll say very briefly, if I can have a firearm, I'd take a rifle with a scope.
Okay,
because it's the most versatile thing for hunting things.
Long distance and
if you're ever so close to someone that a rifle is not the right weapon to shoot them with,
it's too close.
You shouldn't be too close, and hopefully you're not shooting people. You shouldn't need to. You should stay unseen and
even as just
if I can't have a firearm.
I mean, no, you do have one, but let's say firearms for people who like me who don't know anything about firearms. A rifle with scope is a good answer.
Yeah, sure.
Because would give you like more.
I'm not going to give you like the brand number the type of scope.
I wouldn't get it.
So no, like a nice, reliable rifle.
Good.
Just like a bolt action thing.
That's
just decent scope on it. And I'd use that mostly for hunting food. And also using the scope to look at things at a distance to kind of make sure wherever I'm going is safe.
Yeah.
If I couldn't have that, I would take my crossbow. It's
nice.
pretty short range, very quiet.
Yeah.
And you can retrieve the bolts, which is very important.
Yeah.
Like bullets, you can't. Once you've fired it, that's it, gone.
Mm-hmm.
But with a bolt, if you have a nice bunch of bolts and you take care of them well, then you can use that, go retrieve it, and that's good for hunting if you can get close enough. It's good for
defense.
if it's good for defense if you have no other option, because unless they're wearing metallic armor or like a very serious stab-proof vest, a bolt will go through it, and it's very quiet.
It is, yeah.
So in a last resort, it's okay for that. And on top of that, I mean, you should carry a small pocket knife anywhere you go anyway.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
normally a bigger bush
world,
knife.
Yeah, bush knife.
Just for
but like so melee weapon wise, you would go for like a big.
I mean, I'd go for I'd carry my my large hunting knife.
Yeah.
Just because like that's good for everything from building shelter to skinning an animal, all these kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've got, you don't want to carry too much. Like I think it's.
You don't want to carry too much. You don't want to carry something.
It's all weight.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, maybe a machete or my sword, just because.
Why not?
It needs to answer a purpose, right?
It needs to answer a purpose. If I was thinking about what I would
things like a
take,
machete are very useful for making shelters because it's perfect for cutting through wood and stuff.
I mean, you would still use the road, I would guess. No.
It depends. If you're trying to avoid,
take a car. You can take a car.
Yeah, if you can find a car and fuel, then that's probably the fastest way.
Yeah.
A bike is great. I mean, it's one exercise for your legs, great.
Yeah.
But also it's a great way of covering good distance quietly. It's good for that. If you're on foot, I'd probably travel close to roads, but never on them.
Yeah, because you don't want to lose yourself, but you would still have it in sight.
Yeah, so if you're on the road on foot and someone rocks up on you on a car, hopefully they're fine. But if they're not, then they're in a car and you're on foot.
Yeah,
and so they've got an edge on you.
Yeah, for sure. Horses are good too.
Horses are also good. I don't like horses.
You don't like horses?
No, unreliable. They're like a motorbike that doesn't work. The controls don't work.
The controls don't work.
Yep.
Every time.
So I'd probably head, if I was on foot, I'd be off the road, but follow the directions of the roads. Train tracks are okay. I think like use them for navigation purposes, but it's if you're trying to stay hidden, being stealthy is. The vast majority of it is just being careful and taking your time.
Yeah, for sure.
It's avoiding ridge lines, silhouettes, moving slowly and carefully. It's mostly down to that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
For defending myself, for hunting wise, I would go definitely crossbow, or carabin. Well, how do you call that in English? Damn it. With just like a hunting rifle, right? But if it's for defending myself, I'll go, double barrel or like a shotgun.
Shotgun's alright.
Because I'm not good at. I've never shot anything, so I've never used a gun. So I feel like a shotgun would be easier to use.
A good start.
Double
barrels are very simple. It's kind of hard to screw up.
Two barrels.
Oh
my god!
And you can always, if it's one that breaks in the middle, then you can be safe by just making sure it's never closed.
Yeah,
unless you need it.
That and I think melee wise, I'd go. I feel like you would always have a pocket knife. That's for sure. But as a main melee weapon, I know it's cool. I know it wouldn't be a good thing, but I wouldn't be the one going in. I would be the one defending. Because I wouldn't.
If something isn't your forte,
but like in the two difference we would have, because you're moving around and I'm sitting down, I would have a sledgehammer. You can do a lot of things with a sledgehammer.
I mean, building stuff, yeah.
Well,
I would advise against using it as a weapon.
It's super slow.
Because it's very slow and very heavy. Like, has Alex ever used a sledgehammer?
Yeah, I've used a sledgehammer. I destroyed walls a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Walls don't move.
The walls don't move.
People do.
I like sledgehammers though.
And
okay,
just think about the amount of time it takes
idea.
Going from one hit to hitting again, and like
it's not a good idea.
It's a heavy to lift up. At which point you are vulnerable.
I feel like I'm always in that idea that I feel like one hit.
Assume that if you're in melee, like if you're going hand to hand, assume you've already lost.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
If you're static, you should have enough people on watch covering any entrances that you should see someone coming up on you.
Fair.
Effectively, all of this stuff.
I don't want something with one hand. I feel like I'll take I'll take a saber.
You're already a good swordsman.
Yeah, I've been doing fencing for the past 10 years. I'll take a saber. No one could. Yeah, I would literally cut the guy. Yeah.
Fair. And a lot of this stuff now, it's easy to get kind of carried away with what combat choices would you do? But like, I think the key to success in all of this stuff is just don't be seen.
Don't be seen and don't fight.
Run.
Yeah.
If someone is coming at you with a crowbar, run.
Yeah,
they have to catch you to hit you with it.
Yeah.
And
my God, you have a crowbar? Well, you never catch me.
Like, there's no point going into conflict if you don't need it. And
no, that's exactly.
If you can make an ally out of a group of people, then
I feel like it's the end of the world. You would have some group of people. Just whenever you see one, just go the other way. Like it's if 99% of the population of Earth dies, you have enough space to go somewhere else.
Yeah,
that's why.
I would keep hidden. I'd try and make friends with a few small groups.
Yeah, just always, because you don't want to be that group that no one knows about. You would at least
have
some connection. You want to have some connection.
If a big settlement is being built in the town next, like town over, you want to know about it.
Yeah. You would never be part of a big settlement, right?
I think I would go into them, and I would become friends with them.
But I wouldn't live in them.
No. I wouldn't settle down.
Have you watched like Revolution and those kind of things?
Oh yeah, I watched a bit of Revolution.
It's a bit like that. Like you have some big cities with big settlements, and then you have some people living alone in the farming and stuff. They need to know how to defend themselves, but that's it. Yeah,
like in terms of defending yourself, what are you defending yourself from? Is it like other people trying to get your resources?
Whenever they want to do that, yeah. But like that's why I feel like since I don't want to really have to do anything like that. I'll just go somewhere, a place where no one can find me.
Yeah, let's take you in a small group out to the woods.
Oh my God, are you tired? Oh, that's because it's 10:30, Andrew.
It is 10:30.
And that's.
To be fair,
it's been an
hour.
We
do normally end at 10:30.
Yeah, we do. We literally end up at 10:30.
We don't normally start at 9.
No, we always, because I'm always late.
Yep,
that's me.
You are.
And sometimes the material doesn't work. This morning the door was closed.
Yeah, we were locked out.
So that's the
Yeah. So I mean, so today we've talked about what we would do in this kind of apocalypse. They have the types of life that we think we'd go for, and obviously this is conjecture and just us being idiots. But we had fun. So we
had fun. Yeah.
So if you didn't enjoy that, I don't know why you listened. It's all your fault.
Yeah. Well, if maybe he did because he was curious.
Oh, the broken phone guy.
The broken phone guy.
I'm sorry.
He doesn't have choice. Man. Poor guy. Like,
shout out to you, buddy.
Shout out to you, buddy. I'm sorry. Just turn off your phone, man.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to us.
Yeah. Well, we talked about Stanley. The impact Marvel has had.
That was good. I like that.
He's gonna be missed.
Greatly
by a lot of folks. But I think his legacy is one that is difficult to compare to any other. I think it's very unique and it's very, very big.
Yeah. Artist-wise, it's very big, and it has some ramifications that are very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
we're gonna call it there.
I think
we'll talk to you guys next week. If you caught like the second half of this, again, go check us out on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. Chasing Tales is the channel name. That's Chasing Tales, as in stories, TALES.
Yep, on same channel name for YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes.
If you type in Neon Sunrise, I think in the iTunes podcasts, SoundCloud.
It's a bit harder to find if you put Neon Sunrise because it's just the name of the episodes. It still pops up, but Chasing Cell, it's the first thing.
Yeah. So go find us there. The logo's on there. It says Neon Sunrise.
Yep.
So go check that out. Get the rest of the episode. I think this one will be live maybe a couple days after.
Yeah.
It'll be after we're
doing it
the Wednesday.
Yep.
Well, we hope you guys have enjoyed that. We're going to leave you guys with some funky K-pop tunes.
Oh, yes.
And speak to you guys next week.
See ya.
Coming round again. We wanna dose of this right now. It's KDA. I'm gonna spin a blaze. 소리처럼 나 이름 잊지 못하게 loud.